Picture this. Ancient Egypt, 3,000 years before the Common Era. King Menes, the first pharaoh to unite Upper and Lower Egypt, meets an untimely end. The cause, not a battle, not a conspiracy, but a tiny, buzzing insect. A wasp sting. Historians speculate this might be the first recorded case of a fatal allergic reaction. For thousands of years, humanity has been plagued by these mysterious afflictions: sudden rashes, difficulty breathing, violent sneezes, all triggered by seemingly harmless things. What are allergies? Why do they happen? And why do they seem to be getting worse? Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating and sometimes frightening world of allergies. At its core, an allergy is a case of mistaken identity. Your immune system, the body's highly trained security force, misidentifies a harmless substance, like pollen, peanuts, or pet dander, as a dangerous invader. It then launches a full-scale, and often dramatic, attack. This overreaction is what we call an allergic reaction. But understanding this took us centuries. Long before we had the science, keen observers were noting these strange patterns. The ancient Greek physician Hippocrates, often called the father of medicine, wrote about peculiar reactions some people had after eating certain foods, like cheese. He described stomach aches and skin hives, classic allergy symptoms, without knowing the underlying cause. Roman philosopher Lucretius famously wrote, "What is food to one man is bitter poison to others." For millennia, these were just baffling quirks of the human body, isolated incidents with no clear explanation. The puzzle pieces were there, but no one knew how to put them together. The real breakthrough came much later, at the turn of the 20th century. Entered to Viennese pediatricians Clemens, von Perka, and Bela Schick. They were working with a diphtheria antitoxin, a life-saving serum derived from horses. They noticed something odd. Some patients who received a second dose of the serum had a much faster and more severe reaction than they did the first time. Their bodies seemed to be primed, almost over-prepared. The doctors realized the immune system wasn't just fighting off disease. It could also become hypersensitive. In 1906, Perka coined a new term for this phenomenon, combining the Greek words allos, meaning other, and ergon, meaning work. He called it allergy, literally meaning altered reactivity. The concept was born. But what was the biological mechanism? The key was a tiny molecule that eluded scientists for decades. It wasn't until the 1960s that two separate research teams, one led by Kimishage and Teruko Ishizaka in the United States and another by S.G.O. Johansson and Hans Benich in Sweden, simultaneously discovered a new type of antibody. They called it immunoglobulin E, or IgE. Here's how it works. The first time you encounter an allergen, let's say cat dander, your immune system might decide it's a threat. It then produces specific IgE antibodies for that allergen. These antibodies act like little scouts, attaching themselves to mast cells, which are immune cells packed with powerful chemicals like histamine. Now your body is primed. The next time you come into contact with a cat, the dander allergens bind directly to these IgE antibodies on your mast cells. This triggers the mast cells to degranulate, releasing their payload of histamine and other chemicals. It's this chemical flood that causes the familiar allergy symptoms. Histamine makes your blood vessels leaky, causing swelling and redness. It stimulates nerves, causing itching. It increases mucus production, leading to a runny nose and watery eyes. And in severe cases, it can constrict your airways, making it hard to breathe. The discovery of IgE was the missing link, finally explaining the cellular-level chaos behind a simple sneeze or a life-threatening anaphylactic shock. This brings us to the modern day, where allergies have become a global epidemic. In many developed countries, rates of allergies have skyrocketed over the past 50 years. It estimated that up to 30% of the world's population now suffers from some form of allergy. Why? What has changed so drastically? One of the leading theories is the hygiene hypothesis. The idea is that our modern, sanitized lifestyles are leaving our immune systems, well, a bit bored and trigger-happy. For most of human history, children grew up in environments teeming with microbes, playing in the dirt, living on farms, and being exposed to a wide array of bacteria and parasites. This constant exposure acted like a training ground for the immune system, teaching it to distinguish between real threats and harmless bystanders. Today, with our obsession with antibacterial soaps, sterile homes, and less time spent outdoors, our immune systems might not be getting that crucial early education. Without real enemies to fight, they may start picking fights with innocent proteins in pollen or food. Another compelling idea is the pollution hypothesis. This theory suggests that the increase in air pollution from industrialization and traffic is contributing to the allergy epidemic in two ways. First, pollutants like diesel exhaust particles can act as irritants, damaging the lining of our airways and making it easier for allergens like pollen to enter our bodies. Second, some studies suggest that these pollutants can directly interact with pollen grains, making them more allergenic. There's even evidence that climate change is playing a role. Warmer temperatures and higher CO2 levels can cause plants to produce more pollen for longer seasons, increasing our overall exposure. It seems our modern world has created a perfect storm for allergies to thrive. So, what exactly is happening inside your body during an allergic reaction? Let's take a closer look. When histamine and other chemicals are released, their effects can be seen throughout the body. For someone with hay fever or allergic rhinitis, the battle is fought in the nose and eyes. The inflammation causes the classic symptoms of sneezing, congestion, an itchy nose, and red, watery eyes. For someone with allergic asthma, the reaction goes deeper into the airways of the lungs. The inflammation causes the muscles around the airways to tighten and the lining to swell, producing excess mucus. This narrows the passages, making it incredibly difficult to breathe, leading to coughing, wheezing, and shortness of breath. Food allergies can be even more systemic, depending on the person and the food. A reaction can cause anything from mild itching in the mouth to severe hives, vomiting, and diarrhea. In the most severe cases, it can trigger anaphylaxis, a rapid, life-threatening reaction that affects the entire body. Blood pressure plummets, airways constrict, and the person can lose consciousness. It's a medical emergency that requires immediate treatment with epinephrine. The skin is another major battleground for allergies. Conditions like eczema or atopic dermatitis are strongly linked to allergies. In people with eczema, the skin barrier is often compromised, making it leaky. This allows allergens and irritants to penetrate more easily, triggering an immune response that leads to the characteristic red, itchy, and inflamed patches of skin. It often becomes a vicious cycle. The itching leads to scratching, which further damages the skin barrier, allowing more allergens in and worsening the inflammation. This complex interplay between our environment, our genes, and our immune system highlights just how deeply allergies can impact our health and quality of life. Given the rising tide of allergies, what can we do? Management generally falls into a three-pronged approach: avoidance, medication, and immunotherapy. Avoidance is the most straightforward. If you're allergic to peanuts, you don't eat peanuts. If you're allergic to dust mites, you use allergen-proof bedding and high-efficiency air purifiers. It's about identifying your specific triggers and minimizing your exposure to them as much as possible. When avoidance isn't enough, medication is the next line of defense. Antihistamines are the most common. They work by blocking the action of histamine, the chemical responsible for many allergy symptoms. Decongestants can help relieve a stuffy nose, and corticosteroid nasal sprays can reduce inflammation in the airways. For severe reactions like anaphylaxis, an epinephrine autoinjector is an absolute lifesaver. For those seeking a more long-term solution, there's immunotherapy, often called allergy shots. The concept is simple: By exposing your body to gradually increasing doses of the allergen over time, you can desensitize your immune system. It's like retraining your body's security force, teaching it that the allergen isn't a threat, after all. This process can take several years, but for many people, it can significantly reduce or even eliminate their allergy symptoms for the long haul. Newer forms of immunotherapy, like underthong tablets, are also becoming available. Of course, it's crucial to remember that this is not a do-it-yourself project. Managing allergies effectively requires a proper diagnosis and a personalized plan from a healthcare professional, like an allergist. They can help you identify your triggers and find the best course of action for your specific situation. From a pharaoh's fatal sting to the discovery of Ige and the modern hygiene hypothesis, our understanding of allergies has come an incredibly long way. We've journeyed from seeing them as mysterious curses to understanding them as a complex interplay of genetics, environment, and our own immune systems. But the story is far from over. As our world continues to change, as our climate warms and our lifestyles evolve, the challenges posed by allergies will undoubtedly change too. Will we develop new treatments? Can we reverse the rising trend? The future of allergies remains one of the most pressing and fascinating questions in modern medicine. What do you think the future holds for allergy sufferers? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you found this video interesting, don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of science and health.